dedication and effort and sweat, blood, sweat, and tears pay, and people in government power play. We're going to talk about that this morning. You pay and they play. They've got a surplus in the budget. How'd that happen? Taking more of your hard work so they can have more fun. As you look at the great American flag, we'll get into business. Welcome, welcome. Come on board. We're going to talk about the government, how they collect billions in tax dollars. And hello. So, slow down for the little children. There you go. Give me a picture. Slow down for the little children here. How you doing? You're a YouTube star. Y'all take care. God bless you all. Yeah, if that's all right. God bless y'all. So slow down today for the little children. It's the first week of school. And we're going to talk about how the government plays off your money and a few other things, talking about government corruption and exposing them. Dangerous work. We put it more bluntly and plainly and clearly and truthfully than any channel that you'll ever come across. Let me assure you, it's very dangerous work. So subscribe to the channel. Get some eyes on us where it makes it more difficult for them to commit their dirty deeds against us. We're pointing out government corruption. So the state of Tennessee has got a surplus of over $1 billion in your tax money. How'd that happen? Well, they tax you too much. They overtax. And they spend your tax money. Welcome, welcome, come on in. And they overtax you. And they've got a surplus of revenue. They run the government like a business for themselves. It profits them. They've got a surplus of over $1 billion in tax revenue. More than they budgeted. They've got themselves a windfall. It just came out yesterday, right before midnight, over $1 billion surplus of tax money, tax revenue in the state of Tennessee. So they got a lot of money to play on. Will they give that money back to you? Or will they use it to provide what you paid for it for your public safety, health protection, and well-being, for your sustainment so that you can keep living happy and sustain stuff that the government's supposed to provide, like roads, hospitals, not free health care, but at least the facilities, so that your tax money can fund them and then you can pay for them, stuff that one individual can't do by themselves that sustains society. Government's supposed to do that with your tax money. Do they do that? What do you think? I'll tell you what I think. Hell no, they don't. They use it to play. They use it to have fun. They use it to have big parties. They use it to fund their lavish lifestyles. Just a few plain examples that you see in the news media are, wow, I'm over 100 people. Thank y'all. You're watching the Charles Van Morgan Show. If you haven't subscribed, this is dangerous stuff to put out. Put eyes on it, subscribe. Makes it harder for them to do me evil, which they've already done before. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. What we did yesterday in Chattanooga. So the government plays with your money. They have a good time. Just some obvious examples. Plain stuff, not the hidden stuff, plain stuff. They just don't tell you what it's about. A off-duty trooper and her entourage, her husband and their friends, was at Calhoun's on the river and drunk. They were so drunk they didn't want to drive and get caught because it would be difficult for them to get out of it. But they would have got out of it because they're state troopers and and the prosecutor's not going to prosecute them for being drunk on the job. And if they do, they're going to lose their job. They're going to get out of it and get their jobs back. A drunk trooper literally was put back to work by a Tennessee state judge. Now, they won't do that for you. They'll do that for people in power. Now, former Major Stacey Heather, who still runs the government, retired as a major with all that high pay because she took money away from people that they got rid of early for reporting her nasty ass. She was drunk at Calhoun's on the River, called a on-duty state patrol officer. Now, this is part of the over $1 billion surplus and stuff they budgeted in, but it's not budgeted free taxi rides for government, high-ranking government officials, but it is. And you, sweat, blood, and tears on your way to work this morning, you're paying for that. Now, if you need a ride, you call a taxi or you risk your life and call Uber. And you pay for it, comes out of your pocket. If they need a ride on their drunken ass out having a party, they call on-duty state troopers to pick them up drunk supervisors instead of out protecting your life like you pay for the tax money. I mean, there's not enough death and destruction on Tennessee roads. I mean, people get killed almost on a daily basis on Tennessee roadways. So they call on-duty other officers on duty away from their responsibilities to drive them home. And that's your $1 billion surplus. And actually that's in addition to that, because they've already got that budgeted in the budget. Now they don't tell you it's for our taxi service. They budget it to the Highway Patrol law enforcement. Yeah, that's law enforcement. So we don't get caught drunk driving because it's a little harder for us to get out of drunk driving than it is just to call an on-duty trooper and use our supervisory status above them to order them to drive our drunken party ass home. And they do that. That's part of the surplus and part of the addition to what they already have in the budget. A former commissioner over the Department of Safety, they got that budgeted in. It's not even part of the surplus. They can have more fun. He was driving all the way from Memphis to Nashville. Oh, wait a minute, he wasn't driving. He was supposed to drive or move to Nashville because he got appointed to Commissioner of the Department of Safety, Bill Goober, otherwise by his Bill Gibbons, who was a former prosecutor in Shelby County. So he runs for governor and loses. So right before he's about to lose his ass, he gives all his votes to the crooked governor, Bill Hasbin, and who still runs the government to this day, that dirty crook. And he appoints him for all his votes as Commissioner of Department of Safety. See, they give them positions for votes. It's not a fair elections are laughable. You think there's fair elections. You know, if you think that, I can't help you because it is clear as day. I mean, they have an entourage of Republicans and Democrats, Republicans and Democrats that have a pretty good sized group of people that they give benefits to, state jobs, high positions of power. And those people that are going to get something for it convince the mass populace of Tennesseans that they're Republicans or they're Democrats. No, they're not. They're buying your elections. With that $1 billion surplus, they're going to get more benefits to vote or promote the vote of one of the people in the parties. So if you want things to keep going this way, keep voting for Democrat or Republican, same party, different leadership, they just get a little bit of the upper house. So you pay for all this stuff, over $1 billion surplus. And that's just in addition to what they're playing already. So Bill Goober, now he's a criminal, he's a liar. He lied under oath. So I'm calling him a criminal. That's not defamation, I can prove it. He's a liar, he's a criminal. He lied under oath against stuff I can prove. But that doesn't matter with them. See, you have to understand, a lot of you do that. They can commit crimes in the process of getting a free ride, and the judges that they appoint overlook that. Well, they can commit any damn crime they want to. The judges that they have put into place to rule for them, to give it uneven scales, won't convict them of anything. Now he's got a wife, I think she's retired now, that's on the federal appeals court. You tell me how much power that is. So he's in Nashville. Previously, the district attorney over Nashville putting thousands of, in Shelby County in far west Tennessee, and he's the prosecutor over that area, prosecuting people for crimes. And I know he lies because he lied on me. And he gets the job selling his votes to Bill Hasbin, and puts all his votes to Bill Hasbin. And then when Hasbin gets elected, he gives Bill Goober, the Memphis Shelby County prosecutor. Now he's prosecuting for people for crimes, a criminal prosecuting people for crimes. Imagine that. You think that's unrealistic? Most people know that. So he is getting a free ride off your hard-paid tax money. So he is appointed commissioner of the Department of Safety. He lives in Shelby County. So he needs to either move to Nashville or drive to Nashville and be at work on time at 8 in the morning. Do you think he's at work at 8 in the morning? They get there any damn time they want to. Do you think he drove to work? You got to drive to work. They got your money. They don't have to drive to work. They get a free ride. So he has Tennessee state troopers, taxi troopers. They're not law enforcement. They're out to provide revenue for the state and to drive these sick, rich people that live off your tax money. They're living off your tax money. There's a rock and roll song, an old one, about that, about law enforcement living off your tax money. And they do. That song still holds true today, hadn't went away. And so he gets state troopers to drive him from his home in Shelby County all the way to his high-paying job. Lord knows what time he got there. I guarantee you he didn't have no set time. He got there whenever he damn well pleased. Wouldn't that be a wonderful world? If you could use other people's money, have a highfalutin position where you violate public trust and you're formally putting people in jail for doing things less criminal than you were a lot of times. Now he has a lot of power because his wife is an appeals court judge. Who's going to put a man in jail for committing crimes? And he did. He's a liar. He lied under oath. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God, and then lied. Knowing that because he knows he's above the law. These people are above the law. They're taking your money, violating constitutional rights, violating criminal rights, and stealing from you while you're working hard. If they want to put you in jail while you're working hard supporting them, maybe you can't support them enough, or they need to convict you of the crime, they'll throw you in jail for nothing. If you think that it's a civilized, well-run, organized, appropriate constitutional society, I got news for you. Just crack your eyes just a little bit and you can see it plain as day. Keep voting the way people are voting and it's going to get worse. They're getting more of a surplus. And they don't tell you it's a surplus. They'll lie to you. They're not going to give it back to you. I guarantee you that. You're going to have to work harder. They know they can get it from you. They'll try to suck more out of you. So he lived in Shelby County. Got the job of Commissioner of the Department of Safety. I'm talking about Bill Goober. I'm not afraid to talk about him. He's a crook. He's a criminal. He's a lying dirtbag that's responsible when he meets the real judge for thousands of Tennesseans' death on Tennessee roadways. He released thousands of drunk drivers on society. Now they blame it on me because I'm not a rich billionaire that can get people in power. So they blame their misconduct on me that I was responsible for hundreds of drunk drivers to be released. And it's literally thousands now that people have been killed on the roads. No, they're responsible for that. They put out that I'm responsible. No, they're responsible for crime. They're part of the criminal organization of the government. The most powerful criminal organization in the world known to man is the government. People in government power. I'm not saying government is bad. I'm saying the people in government power are bad. So he called Tennessee state troopers. He shouldn't have had the job. Lied under oath when he had the job. He called Tennessee state troopers. That's your tax money, funds the gas. You know, you see them out here just the other day. I seen them. They'll punch the gas and fly down the road and burn up gas like it's water. And people normally, if you're driving your car, and you might every now and then accelerate real high, but when you do, you're like a reasonable, normal person. You have a budget to live on. Their budget to live on is your budget. And the budgets of millions of Tennesseans that they don't work for, it's no blood, sweat, and tears to them. They didn't work for it. They spend it like water, so they punch on the gas, fly down the road, burn gas, not even on an emergency call, not providing services for you, having fun. Driving them cars fast, wouldn't it be fun to drive down the road, high rate of speed, playing, going around curves, burning that gas up, and then you just get to go fill up and it's free on the state dime. That's not free, it's your money, but they don't care, it's not their money. Or you get drunk off your ass in your whole party and you call an on-duty trooper to drive you home for free. And somebody driving to work this morning's paying for that, paying good for it. I mean, they got a surplus. They can get more free rides home. So the commissioner of the Department of Safety, the dirtbag former commissioner, the dirtbag criminal thug that he still is, that ought to be in jail, he now teaches at a university. So he's still, people listen to his crooked ass, put a lot of people in jail. Every case that he was a prosecutor over in Shelby County ought to be relooked at, because your prosecutor was a liar and they ought to be set free. That's how come your jails are free. They say whatever they have to do to get people put in jail. Now, this isn't pretty, and a lot of people disagree with this, but it's the truth. It's the truth. One of the crimes he committed, he was having state troopers drive him all the way to Nashville from Shelby County. Can you call a state trooper this morning and have 2 or 3 cars? He had more than one protecting his ass from his crimes, not just charge him with crimes, protecting him while he's committing crimes. Drive him to Nashville so that he can commit perjury. I mean, this isn't made up stuff. It's stuff I know for sure. This is just stuff I know about. There's more than that. I haven't scratched the surface. This is just stuff in plain view. He drives all the way to Nashville from Shelby County. They drive him. He doesn't drive anywhere. He's too fancy to drive. And you paid for that. Why can't he drive his own ass to work? You do, because he's a public servant. I mean, you get the hypocrisy in that. He's a public servant. So we pay for him to be driven to work and driven to work. And it'd be a little easier pill to swallow if he's driving to work, performing government services. But Bill Goober's driving to work, causing thousands of dead people on Tennessee roadways by hindering good law enforcement from doing their job, lying under oath, committing fraud and perjury, getting a free ride on your tax money, commit this horrible atrocity. And people think I'm exaggerating. The way I'm telling it isn't horrific enough. Do you need to go to the scene of a horrific wreck with blood all over the road and look at the innocent victim that's 2 or 3 years old that's been killed in a horrific car accident to understand the gravity of what I'm telling you? Now, Mr. Bill Goober is responsible for that. He won't be held responsible for that for any judge in the state of Tennessee. They're on his team. They do the same damn thing. They're crooked as hell. Tennessee judges are crooked as hell. They condone and facilitate that conduct. And they get treated the same way. And you're a servant. They're not public servants. They're public lords. And you are their servants to provide for their atrocities. And that's just the way it is. You won't hear this anywhere else. Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News. I'll tell you the way it is. Everybody else dances around the truth because they're scared. They're scared. And the news media, wow, they point it out, don't they? The coward chicken shit news media. So you fund their rides to work so that they can commit atrocities against you. Fact said plain out. Bill Gibbons is a criminal. Now, he can sue me for defamation if I'm not telling the truth. I'll show his specific lies. that he swore to tell the truth, and he went on and lied and caused people to get killed by taking the leading trooper in public safety off the road. But he thought I'd quit. I just re-aimed my target. Instead of protecting the little children from drunk drivers, I went a little bit above that and attacked the people that are preempting that, which is Bill Goober. And Tracy Trott's got his judgment. He's deceased now. He lied about me under oath. And he said that it was right that Bill Goober get a free taxi ride. Of course it was. People in the upper echelon, they think they're right in you providing them free services. You got to work and pay for it. Do you appreciate going to work today, giving the Tennessee state government over $1 billion in excess tax revenue? That money came from the cash register. When you go buy goods and services, the state of Tennessee gets a huge part of that. That goes into the state budget that funds law enforcement to cut down the fatality rate. No, the fatality rate skyrocketed the past few years. To fund facilities where they're there so you can pay for reasonable amount for medical care. No, hospitals in Tennessee are closed down. You're getting taxed not for government services, so the government can get free stuff off your hardworking ass. And that's the truth. And keep voting that way and hope that it change. I mean, it's not going to. And at the same time, they fly the Christian banner. And if you're Christian, they fly the Christian banner, say, well, I'm Christian. If you're Muslim, they'll fly the Muslim banner. They'll fly whatever banner you say to lie to you to get in power so that they can get a free ride. The government is a criminal syndicate in a lot of ways. Now, there's a few good people in the government, but they'll set them out. Make an example out of them if you start sounding the alarm, but I'm too far gone for them to affect. It doesn't really matter to me what they say about me or what the public says about me. I have people tell me they're laughing at me. Oh, that just breaks my damn heart. I'm running home. I'm scared. You know, I'm just a little bit more brave and powerful than your stupid ass ever dreamed of being if you're a hater. And you best watch out what you're messing with, because the truth matters. It matters a lot. Now, people try to scare you into the fact that the truth doesn't matter, but it still matters. And you can laugh your ass all the way to hell or judgment. I'm not changing my view based on being afraid of stupid people. It doesn't change what I think. And I'm not a joke, you are. Because while you spending time making fun of me, I must be something pretty important. You know, if you walk by a bum under the bridge on Broadway and the bridge says, well, you're a stupid idiot and you don't know how to live your life and you've made a fool out of yourself, a stupid bum. And that's not dressed very well. Maybe there's one going on to school, a KPD officer. You know, they can text and drive. And he's running you down. You're not going to stop and argue and pick a fight with him, because the truth is that he hasn't made much out of his life. And any advice he's got to say, I probably don't want to listen to it. Now, he may be back down on his luck, and if he truly is, he's not going to act like that. He's going to know that anybody can be down on their luck. But if he's criticizing you, he doesn't feel very good about himself, and he's trying to lift himself up by running somebody successful down. And you, if you're a decent person that's assured of yourself and know what you're doing, telling the truth, you're not going to pay any attention to him. I mean, you're probably not going to laugh. You might to yourself. You're just going to keep on going about your busy, successful life and not worry about that dumb idiot that's making fun of you while you ought to look in the damn mirror. I mean, I wouldn't pay no heed to that. People that criticize me, sometimes I listen to what I can get out of it so that I can politically destroy them, but I don't take stuff to heart, what people say about me. I think you're a damn fool. And you keep on being a fool, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. There was a study done about peer pressure. I'm a little more educated than your average bear. There was a study done about peer pressure, how peer pressure works. And yeah, almost 200 people. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And the study was, there was a group of people in a classroom, and they told, you know, I don't know the exact number, 10, 20 people, that the professor was going to draw a line on the board, A and B, 2 lines. And the A line was going to be short, and the B line was going to be long, the longest line. The A line was going to be the shortest line. They told all the students, they were doing a study, and when he asked which was the longest line, to say the A line, which was actually the shortest line. So he asked the multitude of students to choose the wrong line on purpose, knowing that it was the A was the shortest line. They asked him to pick A as the longest line, to be intentionally wrong in multitude of people. And they put people in the room that weren't privy to the information to pick the wrong line, to see if the other people that were wrongfully given an answer because of their multitude in numbers could influence the person to choose an obvious wrong. You know, like elections, vote for an obvious wrong, because a lot of other people were doing it, making known that's what they were going to do, even though they were wrong. So the professor got up in front of the class. He drew the A line shorter, obviously shorter, the B line longer, and he asked the class, with one person in the classroom, and they did this several times, repeated it, and it came up with alarming reliability that people did basically the same thing. They went along with the crowd. He said, he asked the whole class, which is the longest line? And all of them affirmed individually and as a group that it was line A, which was obviously the shortest line. Even the person who wasn't privy to the assignment to choose the wrong line, and that person went along with the crowd when it was obvious that they were picking the wrong damn answer. Why'd they do that? It's because of peer pressure. Peer pressure. Other people giving the wrong answer, and one person didn't want to stand up and say, no, that line A is the shortest line, because they weren't going against the crowd. No, no, no. And that's what people that get on my channel and people I meet sometimes, they try to overwhelm you with, this is popular opinion. And I don't care what your popular opinion is. I know what's right now, I know what's wrong. And when it's clear as a bell, my goodness, go along with idiots because they pressure you. I mean, I don't care if it's 100 idiots, 1,000 idiots, or 1,000,000 idiots that were tricked and fooled into voting for Governor Bill Lee. I'm not going along with that. No, thank you. I'll vote for somebody else. I'll mark my own name on the ballot. So if you think you're going to laugh at me, you're very laughing at me, making fun of me, shows I must be pretty damn important, because if I wasn't important, you wouldn't pay a damn bit of attention to somebody that was foolish. So obviously I'm not foolish. Let me tell you something. You are. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if 1,000,000 people make fun of me. I don't care. I really don't. You don't understand. I'm above 1,000,000 people. I'm above 2,000,000 people making fun of me. I don't care if a whole country makes fun of me. I still have constitutional rights to disagree. One person in America can disagree with the whole party. They still got a right to do that. They still got a right to speak against them. That's what people don't understand. Your craziness, your stupidity does not stop my constitutional rights. It don't. I can think whatever I want to think, and what I'm thinking is the truth, and people know it by the millions. People are agreeing with me. So here's another KPD officer. I kind of feel bad for him, for their chief of police text messaging people. So if you're making fun of me, thank you. You know, you're paying attention. I must be hurting your damn feelings. And you're not hurting my feelings. Let me assure you, you're not hurting my feelings. You're just showing me how important that I am, because you're listening to me, because I'm not listening to you. I don't even read your damn comments. I could care less. You're crazy. Now I might read them if it gives me some ammunition to fire at you. But you don't understand, this is a fight. And you try to step on me, I'll get any advantage I can, a political fight. So, you know, I'd be very careful because you're not going to stop me. And you're not brave enough to continue the fight because you don't know the business. You haven't been around, you haven't survived, and you're not going to. So you're just picking a losing fight against me. Let me assure you, I'm not going anywhere. If I do, it's just strategically necessary to hide and clobber you. So the government plays, the government plays while you pay for it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. How many people agree with that? I mean, $1 billion excess in tax revenue. Will they give it back to you? Hell no, they won't give it back to you. They will keep that money. Will they provide for necessary government service to sustain the populace, things that individuals can't do for themselves that they need a government to do for them, like a government should function, safety, health protection, and well-being of the populace, provide services, infrastructure for that. Will they do that? No. They will take that money and have their drunken parties at the governor's mansion and house like they do every year with law enforcement there, them driving out drunk off their asses in state patrol cars, while you drive down the road stone cold sober and they need a number and they put you in jail. Now that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. You get little samplers on the news, but they're not going to really devolve into it because the news media is part of the hypocrisy. They get benefits for leaving their hands off, just give you a little bit of scraps of information, sometimes true, but don't get you on the trail enough, excuse their way out of it. So I went down to Chattanooga as an example yesterday to film a court hearing that I asked permission to, and I got there and Mr. David Toulis slithered out. You tell him I said, I'm not afraid of him. People don't understand. People think, well, he was your friend. Well, a friend hangs me out, I'll hang him out. There's right doesn't carry a side. It's right or wrong. I'll stay on the right side. When he's wrong, then, you know, when he goes against the truth, I'll go against him. I don't care who they are. I've been through that before. That's human nature. People get afraid, and people that aren't in power, they think they can step on them. They aren't in power yet. And that's a phenomenon. All this stuff I've studied in Sociology 101. It's not new things. It's not complicated things. People worship people in power. They grab onto their coattails until they have a wrong position, and then they find out the business. I'm not beholden to any person, any party. I speak the truth as God has already gave it to me, and you can find that truth too. It's called the Holy Word of God. It's in the Bible, the principles. The principles in God's holy word. So like, share, comment, subscribe to this channel. Help me get the word out. So I went to Chattanooga to film his trial where he got a ticket for no insurance. So he's driving around under the laws without insurance. You're going to get a ticket if you commit a criminal violation or a traffic violation where they can stop you, because that's the law now. And we're under the law. And while he does some good things, don't step on me. I go to stepping back. I don't care who you are. You know, it doesn't matter to me. You cross me, try to make fun of me to my face, and there's a whole new situation, a dynamic you just created. So he thought that I wouldn't film the hearing because of the fact that he said that I was threatening law enforcement the last time and acting like I did the wrong thing. I didn't do anything wrong. I was telling them I wasn't going to let them beat me up again. I would defend my life, and I'm going to defend my life. If he don't like it, don't understand the law. He thinks he understands law, but he doesn't understand law. He's never been to law school, never passed any bar or legal examination. Talks about stuff you can't even understand. I mean, You listen to some of the videos, I'll give him some help. Listen to some of them. Can you understand anything he's saying? The law's not that complicated. It makes sense. You can spell it out in plain English language. Now it's a different language, but you can explain it so people can understand it because it's stuff that makes sense. It's just a little complicated and long drawn out, but it's not complicated stuff you can't understand. He explains stuff, you can't understand any of it. He says he's not a sovereign citizen, but he is, because he doesn't think that he has to have insurance in the state of Tennessee. Now, you might disagree with the insurance laws, and I disagree with them too, because they overburden the poor, and some people can't afford it and they still have to get to work. So I don't believe that we should have the insurance laws that we have. I believe that they should have exemptions and not be a mandatory insurance state. That's what I believe. But it is existing law now, and you have to live under the law. You have to live under the laws in the district that you live in. Sovereign citizens think that they are not under the laws of the district they live in. It's a jurisdictional issue. If you live in a city or in a county, in a state, then you are subject to the laws in the city or county, state that you live in. Simply having papers that you've declared yourself not under the laws in those states has never upheld any jurisdictional, judicial approval of that. That's not true. If you're in the county, the state, the government that is set up, as rogue as it is, you have to abide by the laws the best you can. Now, some of them are quite ungodly, and it is all right to disobey ungodly laws, but you're still going to go to jail and have to suffer the sacrifice of you disobeying a godly law. You're under the laws. The only way out of that is to change the laws, and I get that he's trying to change the laws. Hello. And but they're not changed yet. Get insurance till you change them. Don't get a ticket for not having insurance and then try to change them after the fact. That's not going to work. So he had a hearing. He asked me to film it. They didn't have it that day. And then he starts running me down and wants me to run me down on my camera and asked me if I'm going to interview him. I already did. And wants to put out false information about the COVID vaccine and act like he's perpetrating freedom against the COVID vaccine. And I agree that you shouldn't have to have the COVID vaccine if you don't want it. But I also agree, which they leave out, the people that think you ought to have choice, they leave out the part that you should be able to get the COVID vaccine if you wanted it. Even today, it still goes around. I chose to get the COVID vaccine. Donald J. Trump, the Republican Party highest at the top in office, is the one that had that fast track and put out that vaccine. He has said that he got the vaccine. Nothing wrong with that vaccine if you want to get it. Nothing not wrong if you don't want to get it. You might get sick and die, but he puts out, Mr. Toulis, lies and puts out, and has stated it numerous times, that people getting the vaccine, that vaccine has caused thousands of people to die because of getting the vaccine. Now that is a lie. That's not true. That's a falsehood, because he wants to force his beliefs. It's not about freedom, your choices. He wants to force his belief and scare you into thinking that a vaccine will kill you. And that's what he said publicly, that the states covered up the vaccine killed thousands of people. No, it hasn't. No, it didn't. No, that's not true. That's a lie. So he's a liar. Now, if you don't want to get the vaccine, I don't think they ought to force it on you. I'm for your freedom. You don't want to get it, don't get it. A lot of people didn't. I get that. But if you want to get it, it's not going to kill you. I think my personal belief, and this is why I got it, is it kept me from getting the virus. I asked for a booster shot and they wouldn't give it to me, and then I got the virus. I wish they'd have gave it to me. I didn't get sick from getting a vaccine. Vaccines are can be good things. Now you ought to have freedom. I agree with his side. He shouldn't have had to get one because he didn't want one. Now he was sick in the hospital the other day, and I'm giving him more press than he deserves because he slithered out of the courthouse before I got there because he thought I wouldn't go back because he didn't like me. He wanted me to film his hearing where he got an insurance ticket. And I went back down there. The hearing's supposed to be at 1 o'clock. And he slithered out of there. They had it at 9. I talked to the bailiff. And he said that they told him that I was supposed to be there at 1 when they were having the hearing scheduled. But he told them that we could go ahead and have it before I even got there. So I drove all the way down there to Chattanooga, and David Tullis slithers out of there. He says he wants news press. He wants biased news press in his favor, bolstering his rogue, stupid, uneducated opinion. Now, he started a fight with me. I hate it for him. That's my thing. That's what I do. Doesn't matter to me who you are. You best stay on the right side of truth, or I will, you come after me, I'll come after you. Even if you do it unknowingly, politically I'm speaking. I'm not violent anyway, although I'll defend myself. I think I made it very clear to law enforcement there on the scene I would. So I went down to Chattanooga, but I didn't waste that trip. I went to News Channel 3, their news channel, where they did a story about me in 2022, a horrible story where they cast me in a bad light. They lied about me. A lady, Argulera, a woman, I'm gonna call her a lady, deceitful woman. She's now went to a different channel. Hello. And she called me and asked me to interview me about being arrested. Now, I'm not afraid of the news media. I'll talk to them. I'll talk to them any day, anytime they want to. I'm not going to chase them down. They're not worth it. If they want to talk to me, I'll talk to them. I'm not afraid of them. They won't like what I say. You can ask me any question you want to. Don't tell me how to answer it, because I'm not playing your game. I'm on a different level. It's called the level of truth and honesty and sincerity and protecting citizens of Tennessee and fighting for you. That's what I do. Subscribe to the channel. Help me do that. So, like, COVID's killing thousands of people just because you don't want it. That's not true. That's a lie. The Republican Party, a lot of people in the Republican Party that go against it, Donald J. Trump's the one that fast-tracked it and got the vaccine out. Something he's proud of. He got the vaccine. Now, he doesn't publicly broadcast it because he knows he's got a lot of stupid voters that think that's a Democrat's vaccine. No, it's not. That vaccine came out during the Republican tenure. It's a Republican vaccine. But they don't tell you that because they're afraid of it. Not they're afraid of the vaccine. They got it themselves while they're agreeing with you. But it kills people. They're liars. So I went to Channel 3 News, and I didn't film them because it's private property. And they did call me and asked me in 2022 if they could interview me, and I agreed to an interview. So they did at least let me know that I was on camera and being interviewed, and asked me to interview me. However, they did not tell me what they were going to do with the interview, which was to lie about it and surreptitiously do things and act like they were talking to a lawyer that was educated and knew what he's talking about, without telling you that I've got the same education that lawyer has, and that lawyer was facilitating their lie. So we'll show you that. He lied about stuff. He said I could be guilty if they could corroborate stuff. Well, was I? I wasn't guilty. If they can corroborate a lie, then I'm guilty. It doesn't matter if they corroborate a lie, I'm still not guilty of anything. And why didn't they get the video? They didn't push for that because they didn't want to pissed Chattanooga police off, because News Channel 3 in Chattanooga gets benefits from the police department that you don't get. So they're not going to ultimately make them mad. They might put a few nuggets of truth out there to make you think they're honest, but they're not going to really report the truth about law enforcement, because they benefit from crooked law enforcement. They're part of the problem, news media. So I went down there, didn't film them, because they asked me before they filmed me, so I'll show them the same courtesy, but I gave them a copy of my flyer and talked to the reception at Channel 3 News, and she was in a locked building, and she let me in. She let me in the locked building. So we'll try to get across this road here. So like, share, and comment, and subscribe. She let me in a locked building. So I had a suit and tie on, and I told her the situation, how Channel 3 News had put out a bad show about me, and how they told about my arrest in 2022, false arrest, and how they had Miss Aguilar, or that woman I'll refer to her, who made it a bad story, and talked to a lawyer, didn't ask me about my legal education and knowledge, didn't want to print the truth about stuff. So that they had not printed a retraction or did a story, although they called me about a story, but never did. I was on my way down there and they canceled. And so they did a story about my arrest. They do a lot of stories. They'll do a story about your arrest, unlawful arrest, print all over the paper, get an attorney to talk about how guilty you are, probably are, bias it. We got one that was wrong, and even have a legal expert they claim say, well, they did wrong. And then when everything comes to fruition, your charges are dropped and the government committed crimes against you. They don't have that story. They lost it. They don't want the truth. They put one side of the story out there. So I told that lady, the receptionist, hey, you got one side of the story down here. And here's my flyer I'm running again. And I would like for you all to correct the record. I'm free for an interview at any time. And she was very nice. The receptionist was very nice. And I told her the circumstances of the situation. And I told her, you know, this is not nothing against you personally. Channel 3 will be here lying, whether I tell the truth about them or not. And they will be. The news media is going to lie for the government. And they're just going to do that. And the best thing for us to do is not believe a damn word they say. So I told her that I would put on my channel, if they wouldn't interview me, and get this, that the story is, I didn't care if they interview them or not. I'm given the opportunity to be fair, because I'm a fair person. They're not. They put out my arrest, lied about it, talked to a lawyer to give it credibility. We're talking to a lawyer says he's probably guilty, to give it credibility. And they did that behind my back on the phone to a lawyer while they're sitting in the car after they already talked to me. And didn't give me a chance to rebut any of it. So it wasn't a fair reporting by Aguilar, a popular line reporter. And I told her what they did, and I said, if y'all don't interview me, that's fine. You probably won't. The story will be that I will tell in front of my over 4 million viewers is going to be that News Channel 3 is a fraud. You look, and I'll show you the news clippings. They printed a story about my arrest. The charges were dropped. I wasn't guilty. And they didn't print that. They failed to print that. They wanted a story I'd done something wrong. And if I had been convicted, they'd have been right on that. Because they're false, fake news. And I told them that'll be the story if you don't interview me. And the Receptionist was very nice. She said, well, I understand that. I mean, I don't blame you. And anybody would be that way about the fake news. Miss Aguilar, and I'll tell you what she did in her little interview and what their stupid ass attorney did, call him out by name. He defamed me, lying attorney. They got an attorney on call that'll go along with anything they say. And you can't trust attorneys. And I don't need to tell people that. They have the least respect of most professions. People don't like attorneys. They don't trust them. They know they're dirty. So people aren't buying that anyway. So we're talking today, as you look at the beautiful view, about how you pay and they play. You pay and they play. So that's what I did yesterday in Chattanooga on my birthday. And David Toulis dodging me, the news media dodging me. And, you know, that's fine. I'm not chasing anybody down, but I'm not afraid of anybody. And you're paying these people's salary. You're paying the government to take free rides, to get free stuff without having to work for it. And not only that, they are convicting you of crimes, and you're paying for the crimes they're convicting you of. You're paying for their criminal acts against you. And that's unheard of for a reporter to say that. And the news media bolsters that because they get out of their crimes. They drive drunk down the road and don't go to jail and get out of crimes. And from that nasty courthouse right there. So yeah, 140 people. Let's get like, share, comment, and we're almost to our signature location. And we're going to talk about how they try to stop people like me and others from reporting their criminal activity, because they make a example of people who rightfully report them to show people how bad they will treat you. They try to destroy your life if you report government corruption and report their wrongdoing against the public. They try to deter that to maintain their power over you. Both the Democrat and Republican Party, both of them, do the same damn thing. Try to deter good people from reporting their criminal conduct. And we're going to talk to you about that today. Cases where they have actually done that we know of. And there's a bunch of cases that we don't know of. So I'm not asking you to be an example unless you want to be. Some people, that's their calling. To me, it is. Some people, it's not. I'm a fighter. I can deal with it. And if that's not your calling, I don't blame you. You don't have to be out front. I'm asking people to subscribe to the channel. They don't know who's subscribed to this channel. Support the movement, Voters of Truth and Rage. They want to kill me. All I want to do is vote them out of office and have them prosecuted. And just was threatened to be put in jail again in Chattanooga just about a month ago for campaigning for public office. So they want to make an example out of me. That's all right. I can handle it. You don't have to do that. All I'm asking people to do is subscribe to the channel. Even more than that, watch. I'll put some real truth to you. some shocking stuff that's not untrue. All of it's true, and back it up with facts. The hidden truth that no one wants to report except for me, because it's too damn dangerous. I don't blame them for not reporting it. They'll get put through the gauntlet. They'll get put through the meat grinder, but I've been through it and I've survived it because that's my thing. That's what I do. So I'm here for you to report government corruption. So all I'm asking you to do is not stick your head out front. All I'm asking you to do is report by surreptitiously by watching my show. By watching my show, as you look at the beautiful view, and subscribing if you can, so you won't miss anything. And like and hit the like button, help the algorithm. And voting. I'm on the ballot. Now our chances of winning are slim and none. But we're on the ballot. And the more votes I get, the more I take away from crooks that are against you. And we're going to go through a lot of stuff today. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. A lot of important stuff that will help you. So subscribe. Help me get the information out. And we're going to cover how they make examples out of people that are reporting justifiably through their systems of their abuse of you. They're stealing your tax money. And about their revenue increase of over $1 billion. So, like, share, and comment. Let's see. This was in the news just last night. So it's new stuff. Something that just came out in the news. And this year, and this is you pay and they play. This year, Tennessee ends fiscal year with $1.2 billion revenue surplus. Nashville, Tennessee closed out the latest fiscal year with about $1.2 million more in revenue than state leaders initially expected, leaving a sizable pool of money that could help shape spending decisions under the state's next governor. The final budget revenue reports fiscal year 2026 shows the state collected 5.24% more than the budget estimated. That's a pretty big collection, but it's not entirely out of the ordinary looking back on historical collections. Mandy Spears, Executive Vice President for the Sycamore Institute. So they're explaining that away. So they have taxed you excessively they're already excessively taxing you. Spending your money frivolously. And they have got $1.2 billion more to play with. Now that $1.2 billion should go back to people. It's a surplus, stuff they didn't budget. They already need to cut the budget. But this is $1.2 billion in excess of what they're already playing with. That's just $1.2 billion for a small group of people at the top to do anything they damn well please with. And it would be different if they were just using that money to have fun with. That's bad enough. But they're using that $1.2 billion, and they will use it not to fix your roads, not to pay for protection for our children in schools, not to provide for the infrastructure of hospitals so that you can have affordable hospital care in every county in the state of Tennessee that could fund that. They're using that money to fund more law enforcement, to have ticket writers, to have you pay more fines and court costs and put you in jail. That's what they're doing with that money that they already have budgeted, and then they have $1.2 billion to incarcerate you, punish you, inflict pain and suffering on you more. $1.2 billion where they can take free rides and put you in jail, hire more law enforcement to punish you, and hire more judges to put fines and costs on you. So they're having a hell of a fun life, people in government power. 1.2 billion. And look at the way they explain it. Mandy Spears, Executive Vice President for the Sycamore Institute, that obviously is purporting the government's interest, says that, and we'll take this, says that not entirely out of the ordinary based on historical collections. So she's saying that this $1.2 billion is normal. If you ended up with several $100,000 in your pocket as compared to a state with 1.2 billion, every one of their people in the entourage gets some of that. Every one of their government agencies, that's going to be put down to them. Would that be out of the ordinary for you to get a windfall of money? Yeah, it'd be out of the ordinary. And if you did, they'd tax it. So they're lying to you. They got more money to inflict punishment on you. They're not going to give it back, and they're not building an infrastructure for you. So they're getting more of your money to inflict more punishment on you. You pay and they play, and it's worse than my thumbnail says. You pay and they get your money to inflict pain, suffering, and punishment on you. So, a recap. Let's look at, I went on my birthday yesterday, went to Chattanooga to hear a case with David Toulis, who has received a citation for not having insurance and in the state of Tennessee. And if you're in Tennessee, you should get insurance. Now, he called me several months ago to tape him before he started criticizing me, thinking that I was biased news in his favor, and he wanted me down there when he thought I would lie for him, which I won't. But yesterday, when I went down there, his hearing's supposed to be at 1, they had it at 9. His ticket for no insurance, and he already had the hearing at 9 o'clock, and he slithered out of there before I could report him. So I went to the Channel 3 News, and he is in a movement that is trying to increase the government budget, because he's saying that police officers shouldn't be able to enforce traffic laws. They need to go get a warrant before they enforce traffic laws. Now that's crazy. If you're driving down the street and you see somebody run a red light and they about strike you in the side, T-bone you, do you not believe that police should have the authority to stop them, find out what the problem is, issue them a citation, try to make sure they don't do it again? Now, his agenda is not to make those offenses criminal, or in cities they're civil, and answer in a city court or in a state court for the Department of Safety to answer to those citations, because he says they're not criminal, that they're under the guard of the Tennessee Department of Safety. And that sounds real good, but we have to have law enforcement being able to stop cars and stop dangerous people. And all that will do is create a huge bureaucracy in the Department of Safety. And then after it gets through that, then you go to the court. So all that's doing is making a bigger government. That's not realistic and dangerous. Cars are dangerous. They're thousands of pound bullets going down the road. And to try to inhibit law enforcement's ability to stop dangerous people driving down the roads is scary and dangerous, and he's involved in that movement. That's crazy. And also, let me mention today, slow down, if you will, please. And I would appreciate people reminding me. Sometimes we forget, because This is the first week of school and little children are out on the road. So you play so government can play. I report government abuse and they use you to teach others. Don't report government law breaking. They make an example out of certain people, which they have tried to do to me. They will get a fake judge that they have in their pocket to hear your case, to decide for the government if they've got an honest judge. It's not a legitimate government in Tennessee. They protect each other from their crimes. The government protects each other from their crimes while they're convicting you, you're not committing crimes. And a lot of people on here making fun of me. And I hear this a lot. Good luck with that. Talked about the study about social pressure. Well, I'm not going to say I'm completely above that, but I don't pay much attention to it. And, you know, people make fun of me all you want to. I'm not paying attention. And it's not true. And it's detrimental to you. So, people pay for their wrong on this earth. Lyon Lowell Russell, just a month after he lied on me about went to the house of a man who just lost his son and used that as a way to get people infuriated against the trooper out on the road doing his job. That's how a government does. He had a bad wreck. Truck hit him. About a month, took him off the road. Just after he took my job, God took him off the road. And Mr. Lowell Russell, a message for you. That's one truck. When you're driving down the road today, count the trucks. There's more of them, Lowell. More trucks. They can still hit you. You're still doing wrong. If I was you, and I pray that God punishes you for your evil. You've caused people to get killed. You ought to apologize for that. Write out your warrant. Tell the truth about me and turn yourself into jail. Because I'm not relenting. And my prayers, you better hope God doesn't answer them. I pray for your soul. But it's not going to make you behave to go along with your illegitimate, illicit lying program. It doesn't matter if a lie is going on for 10 seconds or 14 years. Or in this case, even a little going on right now. A lie is a lie. And I don't have to agree to it. If all society agrees with you and your lies, and you got elected into office by a bunch of damn fools, people that don't know you, but there's still trucks out there, Lowell. I'd be very careful about your life. You got lucky that time. Will ambulance people be around next time? I'm not telling people to drive a truck into them. I'm saying when you're defying praying people that you've defrauded, that were out doing God's work, carrying the sword, doing right, and think you can politic around it, and God's the judge. I'm not the judge. I pray to the judge and tell him what I think. And there's more trucks out there, Lyon Lowell, so I'd be very careful. Major Heatherly, getting free stuff off the state. 14 years after she lied on me, she got hit by a drunk driver. People say, well, she's retired now. She's on my list. It's not a grudge, it's right. She can correct the lies. She won't do that. Let me tell you, Major Heatherly, the circumstances that you created in facilitating more drunk drivers, more death on the road, you got to drive in that environment. I'm just saying. Poetic justice might hit you again. There's other drunken cars out there. Do you drive down the road? Because I'm praying that justice is done. Now, you already got hit by one drunk driver, but that's the only drunk driver on the road. I mean, you created that environment. Might be damn good enough for you. I'm just saying. Now the other day, and I know this message is getting out, it's kind of funny to me, even these people I'm criticizing have met me personally, and they know you better keep your damn hands off me. And I said that she dresses like a whore, rubbed her boobs up on the higher brass to get promoted, and her husband promoted, who's in CERT, who decides who's responsible in car wrecks, not the truth. And I said, somebody send this to her husband. You know, I mean, he knows. And so evidently somebody did, because he's on my Facebook page just the other day. So I'm out here speaking the truth about you. Your wife, and I'll say it louder, your wife dresses like a whore. Expose that to me while I had to go on the job. Yeah, I mean, sick. Clothes so tight, showing every foul thing that she owned while I'm on the job in a trooper uniform, ordering me to come and look at that. Disgusting. That's what your wife did. That's not defamation, that's the truth. And I'm out here, if you want to beat somebody up for telling the truth, I'm not going looking for you, but if you want to find me, I promise you, and he's already looked at my Facebook page, somebody sent it to him, you won't like what you found. You find, boy. If I were you, and he's pretty smart, because all he's going to do is look at my Facebook page. You know, he's got a big fancy retirement for punishing civilians living off that $1.2 billion tax money. He's going to enjoy his retirement, because if he knows that if he tries to hurt me with serious bodily injury or death, that Charles Van Morgan will defend himself. But if he don't decide to do that, we'll see what happens. So, time is on our side. You know, we're going to lose a few battles. We'll win some battles, and we'll get our point across the finish line. Now, we're in a losing war. This world's never going to be perfect, but we'll win a few battles. Keep trust, keep praying. God's got us. We don't have to be afraid of these people. We lose the war on this earth, but we can win some battles. We win if we accept Jesus Christ into our hearts. We win the ultimate war in heaven. The average of increase, 1.2 billion revenue. Yeah, that way you're going to turn there. Not supposed to see the sign. Yeah, make a turn there. So yeah. So the budget in Tennessee is $60 billion, and they got a surplus of 1.2 billion above expectations, and give that back to taxpayers, but they won't do that, or provide services that enable citizens to live happy and be able to pay their taxes, put back into the system, and the system is supposed to provide for citizens' well-being so that they can stay alive and have an infrastructure to keep going, but they won't do that. They won't do that. They provide for themselves and their sick entourage of public corruption. So I'm going to show you a few cases where they have hung people out to dry for doing the right thing. And first, let's look at Channel 3 News, where I went to yesterday. Gubernatorial candidate Charles Van Morgan arrested for intimidation of voters. So they're telling you that I was arrested and what I did wrong, intimidation of voters. That's what they're saying. Now, that's not true. I didn't intimidate voters. That's a lie. Channel 3 lied about that. They lied. I didn't intimidate voters. So here's what they said. A candidate running for governor of Tennessee has been arrested and charged by Chattanooga police intimidated voters, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrests at the Hamilton County Election Commission. According to the police report, candidate Charles Van Morgan's at the Election Commission, screaming about politics, cursing, I never said a curse word, getting in people's faces and harassing voters on Monday morning. Morgan told us Tuesday that's not true. He said that he was campaigning. Gubernatorial candidate Morgan from Knox recorded events leading to his arrest. Morgan is running as an independent. An election official whom we have not yet identified can be heard on the video telling Morgan, "You don't have the right to intimidate voters." I wasn't intimidating. Morgan responds, "I'm not intimidating voters." The unidentified election official tells Morgan he is getting complaints, Morgan said, because they're voting for the opposition. Morgan tells the man he can ask them to vote for him and then tells the man to call the police. I can tell people to vote for him, ask them to. And the affidavit says William Adams with the Election Commission told 5 complaints had been made by complaints. They've been harassed by Morgan. A woman specifically said she was scared to go back out to her car. Look at that. So, they said that I was harassing voters, intimidating voters. And the lady said that she was intimidated from voting, but she's in the polls, and Channel 3 is reporting all this. She's in the polls, so I didn't stop her from voting. So if she was so scared, which is a lie, she wasn't scared. She wasn't scared at all. If she was so scared, then she wasn't too scared to go in and vote. So she got to vote. Now, here's what they don't tell you, which is very obvious. Look at the facts. The lady said that she was scared to go back out to her car. So if I intimidated her in the parking lot, behind the 20-foot line, then she's not too scared to go vote. So she's lying. She's not too scared to come back out to her car. If she was too scared to come back out to her car, she wasn't too scared to go get her vote in. So she's not scared. What these people are doing, and this is what hecklers do, and it's Chattanooga Police Department's responsibility to protect me against their swatting. They didn't do that because they're a rogue agency, who the chief has been fired and indicted since that time. And I was asking people to vote for me. I didn't block anybody. I didn't say one cuss word to anybody. The truth is, you can see the truth just in their reporting. Just in what these election officials who are part of the government said. They said, quote, a woman said, one of the complainants said she was afraid to go back out to her car after voting. So that's not fear. That's trying to get a political candidate that's getting other votes. She didn't vote for me, obviously. After she's cast her vote, trying to stop me from getting other people to vote for me to cancel out her vote. So she's trying to rig the election, and the election officials are helping her. I have every right on God's green earth under the Constitution to ask people to vote for me. I didn't cuss anybody. I didn't block anybody. I didn't call the police on anybody. I didn't do anything except for stand with a campaign sign with my name and picture on it and ask people if they wanted information about my campaign, and also was giving out a free book about the rapture. So I was participating in political speech and religious speech. The most protected speech. So the government, under the First Amendment, can make no law inhibiting my right to do that. I was on the ballot. I was abiding by the law. She wasn't on the ballot. She was going and exercising one vote. And here's what she did. An election official used her and facilitated, 5 other complaints. This is your government inflicting punishment on somebody that's speaking out against them. And cuss anybody. A rigged election. Bill Lee, you got elected unlawfully. Fly that Christian banner. My knees are on the ground praying about you. Your Republican Party did this to me. Lawless government agencies lied on me, called the police, and the police beat me up picked me up and threw me over the 20-foot line, and that ain't gonna happen again. Here's your warning, Chattanooga PD. We'll see what happens the next time. I've got a God-given right to resist an unlawful arrest where you try to inflict serious bodily injury or death on me. And you got one free one. Let's see what happens the next time. You keep your damn hands off me. Now, I'm not even asking you to protect me, which you should against the rogue government agencies. You better damn well, and that's a warning to you, you better damn well keep your damn hands off me. You got that? You don't like America, go over to Russia. I'm running for office today, got my name on the campaign. You don't have to vote for me. You can tell other people not to vote for me. You put your damn hands on me again, you see what the hell happens. Unlawful, violent arrest. Throw me over the line and then say I'm in the 20-foot area campaigning unlawfully. Because one rogue person says she was scared after she voted, trying to keep other people, me from getting other vote to cancel out a vote, which I got a right to do. I got a right to campaign. You don't like it? You go to Russia, boys. This ain't gonna get done again. And Channel 3 did a report about that. They weren't gonna get a conviction on that. They wouldn't release their body cam, showed the violent police action against a political candidate. If that happened to Marsha Blackburn, oh, it'd be all over the news. The police officers be in jail. But they can arrest me or you, people that don't have a lot of money because they spent their life in service to the public, can't run for public office. We're not allowed to. We're supposed to be on the books, but the books ain't what they go by. Crooked Tennessee government. I'm running again. You better keep your damn hands off me. And that includes the Knox County Sheriff's Department. I went down to the Sheriff's Department and filed a complaint down there where deputies seasoned me. You have no right in this country, when I'm obeying the law, asking for people to vote for me, to stop me. Don't. It's not going to work out good. It's going to get a hell of a lot worse. Keep your freaking hands off me. You don't like what I'm saying? Lump it. Obey the Constitution. Quit stepping on soldiers' blood that fought for my right to run for public office. I'm following the rules. You're not. So, piss me off again, see what the hell happens. Stupid dirtbag thugs. So, Channel 3 News, Miss Aguilar, I wonder if she's an American citizen, I don't know. Funny name. I'm just putting that out there. So, it's up to her to prove that. And just like it was up to me to prove I was innocent. Well, I did. Where's her news reporting? So Channel 3 News and Miss Aguilar goes out there and interviews me. And I told her I didn't cuss anybody, didn't do anything wrong. I'm asking for votes. I'm allowed to. I couldn't do it inside the polls. They have a 20-foot line where you're not allowed to be within that area. It's 20 feet or 50 foot. And they got a sign out there. I never stepped 1 foot across that line. Peacefully asking people to vote for me. And people that vote didn't want me getting voters, so they swatted me, and police officers beat me up for that. Do it again. And that's not a threat, that's a warning. They're not gonna hurt me seriously where I could die. And Channel 3 asked me to interview. I interviewed out there in Chattanooga and told them I didn't do anything wrong. And I knew they had a police body cam that would show I didn't do it. They said I resisted arrest. No, I didn't. Show the body cam. Show me resisting arrest. And they never told me, turn around, put your hands behind your back. They just tried to hurt me because they were mad at me because the government told them, get him out of here. He's running for governor. We don't want him out here. He's not rich. He's not a billionaire. He's not Governor Bill Lee or the has-beens. You know, how would they feel somebody beat them up? I'm just saying, you know, the people that guard them, some of them are drunks. They don't even know what they got. So then she interviewed me, didn't get the body cam, didn't ask me about my legal education, my knowledge, I was obeying the law. And then she interviews me, and then she gets on the phone and calls a lawyer to make her story sound legitimate because she's talking to somebody in the legal profession. And their attorney, the affiant, William Adams, with the Election Commission. So the Election Commission, the government was signing a warrant against me. lying against me. Did they get a conviction? No. Are they penalized for lying and lying under oath? Show me cussing somebody. Show me resisting arrest. It didn't happen. They lied. But why? Because I'm running for public office, trying to participate, trying to do things the legal way. So they do things the illegal way and beat up a candidate because I might take a few votes from them. And that hasn't gone away. I'm on the ballot again. William Adams, come and get me this time, boy. See what the hell happens to you. And he's a chicken shit. He sends Chattanooga police. Chattanooga police, this is your warning. I'm acting lawfully. You try to hurt me seriously, it ain't gonna work out the same damn way it did the last time. You leave me the hell alone. If I break the law, tell me I'm under arrest. Tell me to put my hands out or behind my back. I'll comply with a false arrest. What I won't comply with is a damn beating by you thugs. You got that? Now, that might come to fruition. I'm telling you what's going on in America. People worried about Russia. What about Tennessee? $1.2 billion to hire more law enforcement to beat on you more. So they told me that they'd gotten complaints. So if you're running for public office, Donald Trump, come to him. Donald Trump, shut up, you're getting complaints. Barack Obama, shut up, you're getting complaints. Of course they do. People are against politicians' political positions, so they want to try to hurt them or get other people to hurt them. That's not complicated. Of course people complained about me. People don't like me now running for public office, peacefully running for public office. Of course, the government's job is to protect me from people trying to hurt me. Instead, the government signs a warrant and tries to hurt me. Where's William Adams at? The dirty, rotten thug liar that signed a lying warrant against me. Where's he at now? I'm still on the ballot. I may come down to Chattanooga, Mr. William Adams. Where are you going to be, boy? You want to fight things that way? You ought to just let it be a free and fair election. Let me run for public office and keep your freaking hands off me. If you want it the other way, we can do that. If that's what you want, you rogue. That's your government in Tennessee. And crooked. William Adams, crooked, election commission. So that's what you got in Chattanooga. They rig elections. And of course I was getting complaints, and he told me that, and I told him that's the only thing on video before they busted, Chattanooga police busted my phone. I said, of course people are complaining. They're voting for somebody else. They don't like me out here getting votes. They want to vote, and they don't want me out here, which I have a right to be out here. I have a right to be asking people to vote for me, hand out my material. That is legal, behind the line. They have no right to come out there and remove me, incarcerate me, put me in jail, try to make me look bad. Channel 3 News going right along. Reported this story, got on the phone after they talked to me about the lawyer. Make it look good. And their lawyer said, we spoke to a Chattanooga attorney, Scott McCree, who gave his legal opinion. I got a legal opinion too, Miss Aguilar. What country you from? I don't know. I'm not saying. I'm just asking. I've got a JD too, passed the bar twice. What about my legal opinion? My legal opinion came to fruition. They dismissed the damn charges. If I'd have wanted to stick it to them, I could have pursued my case in federal court. Lying Channel 3 News. What a joke they are. Listen to that garbage. So she calls us Scott McCurr. Scott, let me spell his name right. He's an attorney. He can sue me for defamation. I'm telling the truth about him. Mauscere. He can't run down judges. I can. Your legal advice is full of crap. He said if he can get people to cooperate what they're saying, then he'll be convicted. No, that's not the criteria. They can get people to cooperate lies. The government gets people to cooperate their lies all the time. How about if they can get people to cooperate and prove a lie, they'll get Van Morgan convicted whether or not he did anything wrong. He's out there campaigning. There's no proof he did anything wrong. Let's look at the body camera and make an informed decision before I start spouting out what Channel 3 Lies News wants to get across. That mugshot is a prize to me. It shows you what happens when you run for the safety, protection, and well-being of the mass populace. The government signs a warrant to have you arrested. And do they get arrested or charged with lying? The hell no. They're dirty crooks. Your government. It's not the economy. It's your government. So, the affidavit said Officer Morales. Morales, you dirtbag creep thug. Put your hands on me again and see what the hell happens. I'm going to fight for my rights next time. I got informed a little bit about your crooked in Chattanooga. So they printed that story and they're on notice now to print another one, or you see how Channel 3 News does it. I wasn't guilty of a crime. The Chattanooga Election Commission committed a damn crime and got by with it because they had a legitimate candidate on the ballot arrested. That's what your government did in Tennessee. No damages to them. Oh, they got by scot-free. That's why your government, that's who people you're electing are criminals. They've rigged the election. It doesn't matter if I got one vote, I would have got my own, or a vote in every county except for one. My side's protected under the law, but the government commits crimes. Mr. Morales, do it again, boy. You want that kind of fight? You're gonna get it. You got that? The best thing you can do is honor soldiers' blood and leave me the hell alone. You better. You think I'm playing? I'll show you a damn toy, boy. Show up in mass like that and beat on somebody and then lie in warrants and walk away scot-free. That stuff's coming to an end as far as I'm concerned. So let's look at, you're paying the Election Commission to incarcerate less affluent candidates, lie under oath. Where's their conviction? That's what you're paying for. Like, share, comment. You're paying the Election Commission. You pay taxes. At $1.2 billion in excess, they already got money budgeted. They'll start paying the Election Commission more to lie on warrants and incarcerate less affluent candidates. Candidates that are speaking out against them. That side don't get out because they'll beat the hell out of you, put you in jail if you get that side out. Guess what? It still gets out. Tennessee's hearing this message. Mr. Morales, you fine piggy cop. How dare you? I was in law enforcement for years, resisting arrest. Did you tell me to put my hands out? Did you tell me to turn around and put my hands behind my back, or just start beating and allege I resisted arrest, you thug? A cop with a cop with a badge does not make him not a thug. So you're paying the Election Commission to incarcerate less affluent candidates. And now they just got $1.2 billion more to pay them more to rig elections. They rigged that election. I've got a right to run and speak out against the government. And they're supposed to protect me. They're supposed to protect the First Amendment. That I got a right to speak against the government. That's what the First Amendment protects. The First Amendment doesn't protect speech that they like. If it did, they wouldn't stop it. They agree with it. I could stand out there out front all day long and brag on Governor Bill Lee. Or brag on people in the government. And that'd be fine. I stand out there and hand out my campaign against the governor, the transvestite that he is, running on Christianity, and hand out Christian material to people that want it, and criticize him and the government, and present the gospel, and I get beat up and arrested in America. You tell me it's free and fair elections. Bullshit! That won't happen again. The next time you see me commit a crime, hey, fine. Tell me I'm under arrest, put my hands out, I'll go. You start trying to beat on me, you might be surprised, boys. You're gonna be lawless against me again. So they just gave me more money to do that. They just gave themselves more money to do that. Got a fan? Praise the Lord. That's right. So, taxpayer-funded abuse of citizenry, and they're having fun. You pay for it, then it grinds you up. So, an accusation, investigation, indictment, or search warrant is not proof of guilt. Every criminal defendant is presumed innocent unless proven guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and then they still might be innocent in our courtrooms because they're paid judges. Only God knows. And I don't take vengeance on people. I pray that God does. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I pray some of these people better help God doesn't answer my prayers, because they got a payday coming. So this program examines misconduct, proven misconduct in government systems that may have allowed it, ignored it, concealed it, or abused their own power while investigating it, and then just got more of your money to commit these atrocities against you. How the machine protects itself. I have been very prevalent, very charismatic, and very effective in putting mass truth all across the state of Tennessee, specifically against named people in government power who have committed criminal violations and violated constitutional rights, and put that information out there. It's up to people whether they want to believe that or not. But I put it out there. That's my right to do that. It's called politics. It's called the First Amendment protection. The government doesn't like that. People in government power don't like the truth out about them. They want one side. They don't want the other side where people can compare. It's a marketplace of ideals. So, here's an example of the machine. The machine comes for you, just like they came for me for disagreeing with them. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to disagree with the government. You're supposed to be able to. First Amendment's on the books, but that's not how they operate it. And they just got $1.2 billion more to commit crimes against people like me. A real example, USCIS analysis, Kenneth Langley reported that an agency official had improperly revealed identifying information about employees who filed grievances. That's the way the government acts. And this is just one we know about. I just told you about Chattanooga. And I'm not threatening violence. I'm threatening protection of myself against their violence against me. You're not going to kill me with me taking that or cause me serious bodily injury or death. I got a right under God to resist that. So within 2 weeks, this Mr. Kenneth Langley reported that. Within 2 weeks, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services began investigating Langley. The U.S. Office of Special Counsel later found that the investigation was retaliatory and used as a pretext to gather evidence to fire him. Yeah, you think? You think everything was good with me until Lion Lowell Russell and the Tennessee Highway Patrol started endangering my life, and I had no choice but to report that, and I did report it. And then they start lying. And then they start lying about me. Wow, isn't that amazing how that lines up? They retaliate against you for telling the truth. Stuff that you can't bend on. Stuff that you can't allow. I can't allow them to kill me. And here's some of the people part of it. Some of the people that prosecute you are right in bed with them. Right in bed with them. Still right here at this crooked courthouse right down here. Some of these people in public office or retired from public office. In bed with these people. Crooks in power. And here's a man that stands with me. I stand with our soldiers that deserve better treatment than that. So, I complained on Lion Lowell Russell, and I start getting false complaints against me from the entourage. Now here's Lion Lowell Russell. He's a member of the church, First Baptist Church. Put that Baptist title on their name and they're good to go. Boy, you can trust him. So, complained on him for endangering my life. He lied on me. And then his brother is a sergeant. So is it about protecting lives, or who's your daddy, who's your brother? So they got that $1.2 billion to pay them people more to lie on you. That's what they do with their money. Here he is right here. Hello. Yeah, here he is right here. You got a sign, a yard sign up. I paid for my, look at his yard sign. The government pays for their damn yard signs. He's a hero in his own mind. We can do you some damage, Mr. Lionel Russell. You piece of crap. I pray about you. Other trucks out there. And you're not off the hook yet. How's the neck? So, yeah, over 100 people like, share, comment. So, he's a hero, a lion hero. Got his yard sign. You paid for that sign. That $1.2 billion puts a lot of their yard signs. That's a government paid for sign naming a road after him. He's not even dead. Normally reserved for military soldiers that died during combat, but it's reserved for him that's still alive today to lie. And then he gets his brother promoted to sergeant, Coy Russell. And you know, Coy, he's got kids. I had kids too, Coy. Your brother endangered my children. I wouldn't dare endanger your kids. But your brother endangered mine. You got promoted. One of that $1.2 billion, you're getting a raise, aren't you, Coy? Yeah. Have you ever seen somebody that knows how to fight? That's their forte. What you did don't go away, and here's his damn yard sign. These people are crooks. Crooks in power. And church people. Isn't that funny? Church people use the name of God to facilitate their crookedness. It don't deter me none. God is not Republican or Democrat. God tells the truth about stuff. And that's what God does. So got a little 71 messages. Got our little video here. We can see ourselves on our screen here. Got going high tech on got a little tablet here. How are you going to make Tennessee better, sir? Removing a few judges won't make anything better for the people. Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. Any change starts with doing little things, mount up to big changes. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, how am I going to make Tennessee better? By pointing out the evil like I'm doing now. So, God left America. Yeah, I think he has. I don't see any Christians. God is good. God is good. That's right. Everybody's a liar except you, though a tyrant. That's not true. Everybody, listen to that. William Wett 369. So if you want me to read your text messages, your messages, send money with it and I'll read it. But well, I'm a tyrant. Okay. I obey the law. I'm legally on the ballot. The election commission knows that. They're tyrants by allowing somebody to swat me and calling police to beat me up. That's a tyrant. What I'm doing is legal. I play by legal rules. So you're an uneducated tyrant. So this man reported wrongdoing just like I did. And he sued him. Ultimately, they agreed to reinstatement. Langley reimbursed his attorney fees, retroactively promoted him, paid him $325,000 in compensation and damages. So the government, people in government power, retaliate against people that report wrongdoing. They retaliate against candidates that are speaking out against the government. We're supposed to be able to do that. The First Amendment gives us that right. It's the marketplace of ideals. If you don't have anybody speaking out, you only get one side. So Jason Scott is a punk and a wounded boy. Thank you. I'll hit like on that. Still the same, $5. I appreciate that. Thank you. So Mr. Still the Same says, Jason Scott is a punk and a wounded boy. Let's see who Jason Scott is. See if we can say, I don't see anything you said, so thank you. And we'll read your chats. You send money with them. And also watch Euro and Travel. They advertise for me all the time. Great show. Tom and his buddy Graham, tough guys. I mean, they're not inflicted by people trying to run them down. Very impressive show. I have over 200,000 viewers. Tough guys and putting out the truth. I mean, I haven't heard anything yet that I don't agree with what they have said, basically. So great show. If you want to hear the truth against some real tough guys that know the truth, watch Euro and Travel. And they don't need my promotion. They're kicking butt right now. Great show. Tom, thank you for the truth that y'all are putting out. God bless you. Keep at it. Y'all are wonderful. Wonderful show. I watch it myself. I love to listen to people saying truthful stuff. It's unheard of. Powerful stuff that goes against the grain sometimes. And they keep telling the truth. And so thank you. Are you in front of a middle school? No, I'm here at in Knoxville. As you can see, the beautiful Sun Spirit, a great location. The bridge, the Henley Bridge is my pulpit. So this guy reported wrongdoing just like me, and they retaliate against him. That's what the government does. Servants become masters. You hired them, now they act like they own you. Government managers may control an employee's paycheck, promotion, assignments, evaluations, records, and reputation. That's what the government controls. My job was originally ruled in my favor. People don't put that out. They say that the government ruled against me. The judges ruled against me. Not originally, because the higher you go up, I'm English living in Australia. Tell me your solutions, okay? I will. I'm telling you to right now. Find out what the problem is first, and I'm telling you the problem. The problem is the government. The problem is the government. Bill Clinton ran on, it's the economy, stupid. It's the government, stupid. I'm not calling you people stupid, but the other candidates. It's the government. It's people in government power. And you got to figure out what the problem is. One of the problems is they hurt, demoralize, discredit people, dissenters, people that are telling the truth about them. So that's part of the problem. So everything you say about me, they say about me, it's different. So that's the problem. Fair play, so fix it. I'm fixing it. I fix it every morning about 6:45 all across the state. Fix a little bit of it in Chattanooga. I'm fighting like hell. I've got a federal civil lawsuit. My name's on the ballot. I pass out flyers every day, stand in front of the city county building, talk about the judges. I'm fixing pretty damn good. Got votes in every county except for one. I'm doing pretty damn good fixing it. I've caused them all kinds of trouble. 4 for bloomers. So they're putting an ad on my page. So the power is supposed to serve the public. They got an additional $1.2 billion in excess of their already excessive amount of tax money that you pay for. When you go to the grocery store, you're paying into that $50 billion budget that they just got $1.2 billion more than they budgeted for. And they need to use that money to provide for services for you. Instead, they're having fun. So when it is used to punish truth tellers, protect management, or destroy anyone who challenges the institution, public servants become public masters. At the very top, correct your wrong. I'm praying and voting and politically active. First Amendment, love it. You go, mate. Thank you. Now that's somebody from Australia. Tell me your solutions. That's somebody from Australia. Yeah. Thank you, Australia. That's the thing about why they hate me in this government more than ever right now. Because this is getting out to other countries outside their little Knoxville box, their little Nashville box, their little Memphis box. It's getting to Kentucky, Georgia, California, New York, Florida, and every state in between. And overseas, how dirty the dirtiest state in the nation is. Thank you. He watches me. Yeah, God bless you, brother. So, we got some fans out here. You won't hear this blatant talk anywhere. So, we're getting this message out to other countries. You think Lionel Russell wants Australians to know he's a dirtbag thug and look at his campaign sign? He didn't pay for that sign. That's advertisement for the creep. I know he's a creep. I complained on him and the government lifts him up. What a crock of shit, basically, First Amendment language. When they punish truth tellers and elevate people that fight for them. They originally ruled in my favor, but the higher you go up on the food chain, the more control they got over these people, because they don't give them a higher position unless they lie for the establishment and unless they punish people that are speaking out against the hierarchy. So the more I get punished, the more you know, hey, I'm telling the truth. That's why my mugshot is a prized possession. That shows I committed no crime. I'm standing up for you. And you don't have to put yourself out there. Subscribe to the channel, support the show, and I'll do it for you. That's my forte. I'm out front for you, leading the cause. An accusation is not proof. It's meant to discredit. Man got arrested, don't discredit him. Maryland attorney Jeremy Schulman was charged in an 11-count federal indictment December 2020. On August 30th, 2024, nearly 4 years later, the court granted the government's motion to dismiss every charge. Schulman was never convicted, Department of Justice. 14 years, January 31st, 2012 to August the 19th, 2026. They've kept these lies against me. And the accusation received a government press release, national attention, and my dismissal hasn't come yet, but I'm putting out the truth. And this dismissal in his case came nearly 4 years later. By then, the process itself damaged him as a person, his name, his career, finances, family, and peace of mind. Just putting you through the process damages you. There are more laws, no one cares anymore. Now, you'll care when they put you in jail. Thank you, Jaden. I appreciate all my viewers and subscribers. I love the spirit. Thank you. Lisa Welch, 6033. Like I said, I don't agree with his political or religious beliefs, but as long as he doesn't make threats, it's his First Amendment right. You should retire. Okay. So thank you, Chad. So one arrest does not clean the machine. They arrest one person to declare the system honest. That's what they're doing. They'll arrest one person to say the system works, one person in the government. In 2024, Gibson County Sheriff Paul Thomas was indicted in Gibson and Davidson counties after Tennessee Comptroller investigators reported that he profited from businesses connected to inmate labor. Thomas pleaded not guilty to the Gibson County charges. An indictment is an accusation, not proof of guilt. So they charge people with crimes and say they're cleaning up the system. That's a drop in the bucket of all the crimes they're committing. One indictment does not prove the entire system worked properly. It may instead show that the reported conduct continued until it became too large, too public, or politically dangerous to ignore. One case was exposed. How many were buried? Most of them. So they're not telling you the whole truth about stuff. They present one case of misconduct and act like they got it cured, when they're covering up most of the worst, heinous stuff. So don't let it fool you that they charge a few. The Tennessee Comptroller reported that Thomas directed approximately $1.42 million in inmate wages and deductions to businesses within Alliance Group between February 2020 and October 2022. So the government's working, right? How many other crimes by them go unreported? At least 170 inmates in its custody work through the Alliance Staffing Agency. The public saw the headline only after the reported operation had continued for years. So that raises the larger question: how much remains hidden because nobody has opened the records, followed the money, or challenged the people in charge? A lot of stuff goes unhidden. We can do a lot of good in public power by fighting the system from within the system. Friends get promoted, enemies get prosecuted and persecuted. The law recognizes selective prosecution claims, but they are extremely difficult to prove. That asshole. Got a bike lane over here and he endangers people on the sidewalk. Generally, a defendant must show that similarly situated people were treated differently and the government acted with an improper discriminatory purpose. Do not ask only whether one person may have violated the rule. Ask who else did the same thing. Who walked away? Who received protection? Who became the chosen target? Who did they anger? Why did the punishment appear after the challenged power or after they were no longer in power? So don't let them fool you that they're taking care of stuff when they're not. So if you want me to read your comments, send some money with it. Help us get the message out. Government officials cannot lawfully punish someone merely for exercising a protected constitutional legal right. But they do. Look at my mugshot. Timing alone does not prove retaliation, but timing matters. When punished follows a complaint, lawsuit, disclosure, appeal, refusal to cooperate, or political challenge, the public has every right to ask why. Why was I arrested when I was running for public office? Because I was telling the truth about the government. Shut down the whistleblower. Do not fix the problem. Fire the person who exposed it. That's what they do. The Office of Special Counsel found that the investigation used against Kenneth Langley was pretext for gathering evidence to fire him after he reported misconduct. Telling you how they operate. Using your $1.2 billion tax money that you work for to give them every time you go to the cash register. The punishment is not directed at one employee. It sends a warning throughout the entire system. Hey, look what we did to Charles Van Morgan. Look what we did to Charles Van Morgan. That's what they do. Look what we did to him. And they show all of the people in the government, other judges that would adjudicate fairly. Look what we do to judges and people that fight the system justifiably, that speak out against us, talk about our crimes. We hang them out, demoralize them. That's how they maintain power. Speak up and your career may be next. That's how the government does. Weaponize discipline. They call it discipline. It may be revenge. Retaliation does not usually arrive warning an honest label. It arrives as an investigation, a reassignment, damaging evaluation, a promotion denial, a disciplinary hearing, or termination. I did nothing wrong. And look what message they sent to me. Any trooper that attempts to violate the truth about the dirty highway patrol and report misconduct that could kill them, look what we do to you. You take our wrong. You take our wrong. So paperwork can make revenge look official. Judges can make facts that they lie about look right. The real question is, were they punished for misconduct or punished for telling the truth? I was punished for telling the truth, both when I was in the highway patrol and when I ran for public office. And people that lie are benefited with their brothers promoted and yard signs that boost their credibility that you pay for. He didn't pay for that. Look at that yard sign I paid for. He didn't pay for that. A member of a church with a Christian tag, it's all right. There's no such thing as Christian nationalism. God doesn't run this government. He allows it to run the way you vote it, unless people pray. So I've lived through that question. Were they punished for misconduct or were they punished for telling the truth? I've got scars. I know what's going on. Watch the accused ignore everything behind the curtain. Former Minor Hill recorder Ashley Stogner pleaded guilty in January 2026 to 9 charges connected to misappropriation of more than $105,000. Controller investigator reported that she issued herself approximately $67,892 in authorized payroll checks and signed the mayor's name on 326 checks, including 207 of her own payroll checks. She became the public defendant. Who examined the bank statements? How did hundreds of unauthorized signatures pass through the system? Do not watch only the person charged. Watch the people who are supposed to prevent it. Just like here in Knoxville, where you have the people charged 10 years after in the sheriff's department of the alleged crime. Where were all these other people during that time? And you have a sheriff right now elected that had to have seen all that stuff going on. So, why the person? Why now? Follow the timing. Follow who benefits. Keith Langley reported misconduct. I reported misconduct. 2 weeks later, USCIS began what the Office of Special Counsel eventually found was a retaliatory investigation. When punished, it quickly follows a complaint. The timing deserves examination. I filed a complaint against the Tennessee Department of Safety and supervisors. In June, shortly thereafter, I was accused of wrongdoing. Was the investigation created to discover the truth or to regain control? Why does the public hear so much about accusations but so little about the original complaint? How the machine uses your money. Your money is sacred. You earned it. They hold it in trust. Government salaries, vehicles, office, credit cards, contracts, settlements, and lawsuits are ultimately paid for with public money. Officials are trusted to use that money for the public, not themselves, their friends, their donors, their businesses, or political insiders. Your money is not their private account. The scandal proves your distrust. You are not paranoid, you're paying attention. Lake Jail Administrator Nina Caesar was indicted for Comptroller investigator reported that at least $35,158 in inmate commissary funds and booking deposits went undeposited between January 2018 and 2022. So these are some of the most vulnerable people, they're having money stolen from them. Inmates. The investigation began after discovery the commissary account was out of balance and could not pay for inmate products. The lesson is not that you should restore blind trust. The lesson is that inadequate oversight reportedly allowed the problem to continue for more than 5 years. This lady was stealing the inmates' money. And is anybody going to listen to an inmate? Put money in there and it's not there. My family did. Trust must be supported by records, audits, financial controls, and indictments, and oversight. They use public authority to fill private pockets. They use public authority to fill private pockets. The Tennessee Comptroller reported that Sheriff Paul Thomas held an ownership interest in the Alliance Group and received approximately $181,000 in benefits. The public gave him authority over prisoners. Investigators allege that this public authority became a source of private property, private profit, the meat grinder, government power on one side, private money on the other. So I see all these ads coming up in my live stream. That's good. So, hide the money inside an ordinary paycheck. Comptroller investigator reported that Ashley Stoninger issued herself approximately $67,000 in unauthorized payroll checks. They also found that she transferred approximately $33,000 from the city's PayPal account to her personal PayPal account. She later pleaded guilty to 9 charges related to misconduct. No ski mask, no broken window, just paperwork, payroll access, computer passwords, signatures, public money quietly moving into private hands. Wow. Tennessee Comptroller reported that John Warren, then Assistant Director of Martin's Public Works Department, admitted using a department credit card for $5,465 in personal purchases. Buy it for yourself, bill the taxpayer. The amount does not change the principle. Every amount does not change the principle that every purchase made with a government card tells taxpayers, I can reach your money, so I will treat it like it's mine. And that's what they do. Captive labor, private profit. They control the jail, alleged profit from the labor. The Tennessee Comptroller reported that 82 inmates were allowed to live at Orchard House without proper approval by a judge or parole board. Some were charged $40 per day for housing. Inmates also paid transportation and other fees through Alliance Group business. An inmate cannot negotiate as an equal. An inmate cannot simply walk away. When the people controlling the jail also profit from the inmate labor, housing, transportation, or fees, the danger of exploitation is obvious. And you can be put in jail for not committing a crime. The powerless get eaten first. No money, no lawyer, no microphone. The money that controllers investigate reported missing from the Lake County Commissioner account belonged to inmates and included funds used to purchase basic items such as snacks, toiletries. The machine usually strikes the people least able to fight back. They thought I couldn't fight back. Like, share, and comment. Thank you all for watching the show. So, they abuse prisoners, least able to fight back. Prisoners, poor families, small businesses, lower ranking employees, ordinary citizens, you, the mass populace of Tennesseans. Power often attacks where it expects the least resistance. So let's resist. They do not have to convict you to damage you. Jeremy Schulman lived under an 11-count federal indictment for nearly 4 years before the government moved to dismiss every damn charge. A dismissal may end the prosecution. It does not automatically return the lost years. It does not refund every legal expense, restore every lost opportunity, repair every single damaged relationship, or ease the fear. Sometimes the process does much more of the damage before a jury ever hears the case. And that's the people you got in power now. The Justice Department, December 2020 press release announced the charge against Jimmy Sherman in its headline. They announced that in the headline. They announced Channel 3 in the headline, the charges against me. So like, share, comment, spread this message. Subscribe, watch, and help us get this message out. This is unheard of. You want to hear this blatant truth against people that have hurt me for saying it. They put out the charges in the press release. The same page now carries a later update stating the court granted the government's motion to dismiss the charges August 30th, 2024. The first headline brands the accused. It's like they brand me. A dismissal or acquittal years later rarely reaches everyone who heard the accusation. That's why the public must never confuse a government press release with a jury verdict, or even guilt. Sometimes a jury verdict of guilty is not accurate because the state prosecutors are expert at mistreating people. So, the most powerful people may never run. Look at people behind the curtain. You think that Bill Lee's running the governor's office. No, he's not. You think Marsha Blackburn will run the governor's office. No, she won't. Look behind the curtain. Some people hold power without ever appearing on the ballot. So like, share, comment. We're almost up to 100 likes. Let's get 100 likes. So federal election rules permit PACs, political action committees, to accept unlimited contribution from individual, corporation, labor unions, and other political committees for independent political spending. So they don't even have to be associated with the campaign, although they are surreptitiously. The IRS also states that many tax-exempt organizations are generally not required to reveal their contributions, names and addresses publicly. So these political action committees can endorse candidates or run down other candidates that are against their preferred one and take unlimited amount of money without ever having to report it. The only thing they have to do is they can't be found to have been talking to the candidate. They can't be actual in communication with the candidate that it's been made aware of. But surreptitiously they are. The activity must be completely legal. Legal does not automatically mean corrupt, but legal money can find a numerous political reach, advertising influence, and access, while the original source remain difficult for the public to identify. It could even be coming from overseas. Ask who supplied the money, who do they want, who receives access, and what happened after the election. They start making laws in their favor is exactly what they do. Never swallow a press release whole. The prosecutor wrote it. The jury didn't. God did not. A government press release presents the government side, the crooked government side. It contains no cross-examination, no defense witnesses, no defense evidence, no jury deliberations, and no verdict. Read the indictment, but also read the defense motions, hearing transcripts, court orders, dismissals, acquittals, plea agreements, and final judgments. And also talk to the people there yourself if you must know the truth. The only way you can know the truth if you were there seeing it with your own eyes, or there's a trusted person to tell you what went down. Otherwise, you don't know. And usually what the news media tells you, it's the exact opposite of what happened. They're spinning a story. reaping a benefit of praise by the government. So, one defendant or entire system asleep. One Tennessee investigated and covered 326 checks bearing an allegedly unauthorized signature. Another involved inmate money reportedly disappearing for more than 5 years. Another involved approximately $1.42 million in inmate wage fees and deductions. Conduct lasting that long is not only about one person, it exposes supervisors who failed to supervise, auditors who failed to detect it, officials who ignored it, safeguards that didn't exist, and rules that were never enforced. And that is only what we know about. There's a lot more that we don't even know about. Map the machine, follow the money, power, access, and protection. On June 30th, 2026, the United States Supreme Court struck down federal limits on political spending coordinated with candidates. That's how they get by with this. The ruling addressed coordinated spending by political parties. It did not eliminate the separate legal limits on contributions to candidates. Follow every step. Who supplied the money? Did it pass through nonprofit, super PAC, party committees, corporate developer, or political organizations? Who received the advertising? Who gained access? Who wanted the contract, zoning decision, permit, appointment, subsidy, or tax break? Who investigated? Who stayed silent? This is how you map the machine. These people are getting elected based on advertising from people who have an interest, a financial interest in the outcome of elections. And both parties are involved in that. Power hides in contracts, zoning, utilities, and private meetings. In July 2026, federal prosecutors confirmed that a search warrant was served in connection with Metro Water Service employee. Local news organizations also reported that the broader investigation involved national real estate figures. No criminal wrongdoing has been proven, and a search warrant is not a conviction. The most important power may not operate on the floor of the legislature. It may operate through planning commissions, zoning decisions, engineering contracts, utility approvals, government vendors, developers, campaign donors, and private meetings. That's where the public must look. And that's what's been going on running your system in both parties right now. Document everything. No records, no accountability. That's what they count on. Save the names, dates, checks, emails, recordings, policies, contracts, zoning communications, campaign finance reports, nonprofit filings, credit card statements, audits, and timelines. Anger can be dismissed. Evidence is much harder to bury. Keep copies in more than one safe place. Never depend on the same institution you're requesting to preserve the copy. I have a link on my YouTube page where you can send me information, and I won't divulge who's sending it to me. So send me information. I'll investigate and report wrongdoing by people in power in the government. The legal muzzle. A lawsuit can silence you even before it loses. Metro Council member Joe Kimbrough filed a $40 million defamation lawsuit against businessman Ryan Moses and Best Brands after Moses filed an ethics complaint against her. On July 31st, 2026, a judge dismissed the claim under Tennessee Public Participation Act, awarded the defendants attorney fees, costs, and imposed $40,000 in sanctions against Kimbrough. A lawsuit does not have to win to intimidate someone. The threat of enormous legal fees, years of litigation, and financial ruin can frighten citizens, journalists, employees, and small media organizations into silence. So that's the reason why you never get the truth. They use the legal system as a weapon and get by with it. And they protect the people who speak and protect the laws that defend public participation is what we should do. How to fight back against this. Voters of truth enraged, vote. Voters of Tennessee enraged. If you're in Tennessee, is how we fight back. Turn justified anger into political power. Every vote for me, I'm on the ballot, helps. Every donation helps us fight these crooks in power. And they're crooks. Not blind rage, documented outrage. We expose, we investigate, we save the records, we organize the people. We identify who protected the public and who protected the machine. Then we vote. I felt the teeth. I did not study the grinder, I survived it. I spent nearly 2 decades in law enforcement serving the public. Then I learned what happens when an institution decides that protecting itself matters more than protecting the public. I know what it feels like when government controls your paycheck, records, reputation, career, and the public story told about you. And they do. So, I survived it. Now I'm exposing it. You are the owner. You paid for every brick, badge, desk, and lawyer that the government has. Officials do not own their offices. They occupy them temporarily. The donor does not own the government. The developer does not own the zoning board. The contractor does not own the public contract. The prosecutor does not own justice. The judge does not own the courtroom. They do not grant you permission to ask questions. They answer to you. They're supposed to. Stop the grinder. Remove the rotten parts and rebuild the controls. Read if needed. Read the paperwork. Rebuild government around open records, release on time, independent audits, and oversight. More than one person controlling public money. Strong whistleblowing protections. Protection against lawsuits intended to silence public participation. Meaningful campaign finance disclosure. Due process for the accused. Serious punishment for proven corruption. One standard of justice for the people and the powerless alike. Do not merely replace one official while leaving the same machine operating behind the scenes. Change the controls or the grinder keeps controlling. Replace every judge on the ballot. You are the owner and the owners are waking up. The meat grinder is not limited to officials stealing money. Sometimes the most dangerous power is completely legal. Hidden donors, unlimited political spending, private access, government contracts, zoning influence, retaliatory investigations, crushing lawsuits. Legal does not mean honest. Accused does not mean guilty. Power does not mean untouchable. They taught you to fear the office, the badge, the title, the accusation, the lawsuit, and the machine. But the money is yours. The authority comes from you. The government belongs to you. Our job is to follow the money, demand the records, question the timing, protect the people who speak, organize the truth, and turn that truth into votes. You are not the meat, you are the owner. Voters of truth enraged. So, here's my picture. I'm on the ballot in 2026, November the 3rd. And thank y'all for watching today. We'll go over a few of the notes we have here. So many people I have on here watching. I believe Charles. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. So, The government calls good evil and evil good. This is your man up above the highway patrol, a daddy sissy boy, who, Matt Perry, who I understand his dad just passed away the other day, which is sad, but he's still accountable for his actions. And his daddy gave him a job that he doesn't deserve. So he gave him the THP job. So saddened that his dad died, but he ought to resign from his position. And look through my notes and see if I left anything out. And people are saying that I'm a fired trooper. They filed a lawsuit in that case. I was fired wrongly on the same day a federal civil lawsuit was filed. I was cleared by the THP, Internal Affairs. I only fired the same day a federal civil lawsuit was filed, and facilitated by supervisors that I had legitimately complained against. So I was wrongly fired. So the newspaper said Morgan initially claimed he had not seen the wreck. However, the dashboard camera contradicted his statement. The dashboard camera didn't contradict that I didn't see the wreck. That's not true. That's a lie. Showing he slowed down and looked directly at the crash before continued to drive away. So they're saying this false information. That's what the news media put out, and you're putting on here that I was fired for misconduct. No, I was fired for protecting people's lives, and they lied. I mean, this is obviously Morgan claimed he had not seen the wreck. However, the dashboard camera contradicted his statement, showing they slowed down and looked directly at the crash before continued to drive away. The camera doesn't show that I looked directly at the crash before it drove away. That's a lie. The camera was pointed outward. It doesn't show me at all. So how would they know that? That's a lie. That's not true. So obviously their own statements are lies. If the camera was pointed at me, it would have seen that I was looking down the road. I saw the car out of the corner of my eye. I didn't look directly at the car. That's a lie. The cover-up. Morgan drove for another half mile and then sat parked for several minutes. He only returned to the scene after I was dispatched. I was following the general orders. So they lie. They lie. The newspaper did that. Channel 3 did that the other day. The truth is, the government lies. And you can see, you said I'm going to use the extinguisher to make it look good. That's not true. That's not true at all. I said that after the fact because that's true. You have to use means that you know are useless to show the public that you're doing what you can. That's true. Law enforcement officers, and that's not something I said under oath. So yeah, you have to make stuff look good when you know somebody's dead. You still have to do CPR, do what you can, even though you know it's probably useless. The truth is, I risked my life to save a drunk man, to try to save a drunk man. The truth is, you want to exploit what I said recorded surreptitiously without showing the whole conversation. So that's a lie. That's a lie. And you're a liar. And that man that did that wrong is dead. And what you're doing now is wrong. So I'm just saying, you could end up punished too by God. So, you know, you're lying. The government also said that I released hundreds of drunk drivers. The government did that. Do not follow human being, creatures, and idols. This is the way. All right. So if you want me to read your defamatory statements, put some money with it, or I'm not reading them. You think people who live on this street are sick and tired of this old man? Well, if there's a damn constitution, I get to stand out here, don't I? And you can be sick all you want to. Go to Russia if you don't like the Constitution. If you want me to read any more of your comments, put some money with it. So they lied under oath. They lied under oath. And about stuff. And they lie under oath. And these people that you're defending, are against you too. So that's what's funny about it. You're protecting people that are against you. Shakespeare's famous quote says, the first thing we do is kill all the lawyers. That's me. You're trying to kill me. An unlicensed lawyer. The phrase, if you put it into context, was because the people who were saying it wanted anarchy, and the law is what stops anarchy. If Russia can cripple Ukraine's judiciary, chaos follows. If the Tennessee government can cripple the mass populist attorneys, me, and license them, then their chaos follows. People in power misuse legal procedural mechanisms by officials or authorities for personal, political, and proper gain. So they lied about me. Abusive process specifically refers to using the legal system to harass, intimidate, or gain advantage over someone rather than achieve justice. So they lied about me. Filing criminal charges knowing the baseless to intimidate somebody. That's what they did to me in Chattanooga. Using investigations or audits selectively against political enemies, deliberately delayed legal process to harm someone's reputation or financial status. The law or process itself is misused rather than the act being inherently criminal or illegal, even civilly. That's what they do. So, the commissioner over the Department of Safety, now you saying I said that I was putting on a show, and I did. You do have to do that. It's part of keeping yourself out of civil litigation when somebody kills their stupid self in drunk driving wrecks. And that was later. That wasn't on the scene. That was months later in a different environment. Shop talk. That wasn't under oath, being warned in what direction they were going to try to point, a honest statement. And police officers know you do have to put on a show when somebody gets hurt seriously and you know they're dead. You still have to do CPR, you know they're dead. They've shot themselves in the head, you still have to call an ambulance. You do have to put on a show. That is a realistic phenomenon that police officers say, but they wouldn't say it out to the public in the context that they put it out in, and they wouldn't say it in that way under oath if they weren't notified. Surreptitiously recording by a rogue, drunken, sexually abusing Major Stacy Heatherly that trains this stuff in the academy, violating political laws, taken out of context while they lie under oath. They lie under oath. Your prosecutor, Bill Gibbons, now I wasn't said, swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help your God, and ask a question and said that under oath in that way. They said, I swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And then Bill Gibbons, the prosecutor, was in jail. You're worried about me. You ought to be worried about your prosecutors, people in the government. So you want to tear me down, and then they tear you down, and there ain't nobody to protect your dumb asses. Some of you people in there, not all of you. But I'll tell you the business is that this fight got 99 likes, get 150,000, get one more like, we'll have 100. Bill Gibbons, the prosecutor, swore to tell the truth. That statement of mine wasn't under oath, was taken out of context. I wasn't warned that they were going to put it out to the news media. They put that out to try to defame me. And it was in a context, a different context if you hear the whole conversation. And listen to them. So, and they dwell on that one word. And that's true. You do have to put on a show. I'm not backing down from that. Now, would I say that in the context that they're putting out in? No, but that they surreptitiously recorded me. and put it out to the public. Major Stacey Headley did, endangered me and my children. The drunken thug, whorish dressed woman that she is in uniform. Now, if you think you're playing with a toy, mess again. The prosecutor over Shelby County in Memphis, that's put more people in jail than you can count, lied under oath. He was warned. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. And he said, now your people worried about me, this is somebody put you in jail. Wrongly, I never did. He said that he didn't know if the videotape in the pursuit I was in was released without authorization. He wasn't sure about that. That's a lie. He said that under oath. He was sure about it. They did know, because they did an investigation. They had an internal affairs complaint number, and the investigation was over while the video of the pursuit was released to the news media before it was authorized by the Tennessee Highway Patrol management, by the line management. So he lied. They did know. They in fact had an investigation to try to find out why it was released without authorization. So Bill Gibbons, the man who has a wife that's a appeals court judge in the state of Tennessee, who's untouchable, not because he's unliable or uncriminal, because of the power that his family has to commit crimes against people. He lied under oath. I didn't lie under oath. They did. The government lied under oath. You're playing people spitting out something I said, taken out of context, that I wasn't said under oath, didn't know that would be put out to the whole world in a different point than it was. So you're criticizing somebody that's here to protect you and protecting prosecutors that lie under oath against you and get by with it. Why isn't he in jail? So if you want me to read your comments, put money with it, and I might. If you don't, I'm not going to read them anymore, unless it's something good that I want to hear. So here's the thing, that social control, the subordination of individual interests to those of the collectivity, stated more practically, is social control involves convincing or coercing individuals to align their behavior with the norms, rules, or group. In relative small harmonious societies, norms are normally universal shared, and norm violation or deviance offends the larger group which the individuals belong. So I'm going to be pretty offensive. In the larger harmonious society, social control may also take the form of bringing the individual behavior into line with what are nearly universal shared ideals about right and wrong. Murder is an act that generally is not tolerated by a vast majority of the larger society members. Yet social control in the larger society may also take the form of one group's domination of an individual or other group in ways that maintain or enhance the interests of the corrosive faction, but are detrimental to those of the corrosive faction. Social control is accomplished primarily through socialization, the process by which individuals come to internalize or form a commitment to the values, customs, and norms of the collectivity. Collectivities apply or threaten to apply sanctions or punishment to individuals who deviate from social or dominant norms. So, just because I'm going against the status quo does not mean I'm lying. It means I'm right. So, here is at the polls, so they lied about me. I was wrongly arrested. And let's see a video from that. And here's Bill Goober, who lied under oath, not in jail because his wife is a appeals court judge, is what I think. He should be. And crooked court system, crooked people in the government, and your money goes to fund their crooked. So let me read you. 78 more people are killed on Tennessee roadways just that year because of their lies. More people, thousands across the years. Do you believe a special prosecutor's office should be set up to investigate wrongdoing by Tennessee judges and public officials? 82% believe that. We need to start prosecuting them. And we do. So, we do have a win. Betsy Henderson won the mayor's race. I endorsed her in Tennessee. And we got the front page of a paper. This is one I paid for. This is one I paid for. But we got a free front page the other day in Scott County. Thank you very much. So briefly, I'm Charles Van Morgan, independent candidate for governor. Promote voting. I'm running to serve Tennesseans, not political or wealthy donors. The two-party system has helped create many of our current problems. I want the freedom to listen to the people and make decisions based on their needs. I'm the only son of a widow, so I understand ordinary families, financial pressure, and the struggles people face around the kitchen table. I'm a fighter out of necessity. I learned how to fight. Every Tennessean deserves a fair and equal chance under the law, regardless of income. It's not that way right now, regardless of race, background, or beliefs. Our justice system should serve everyone, not only just the powerful. Right now, they only serve the powerful. So, it serves the well-connected now. Highest position and people in power. And I served in law enforcement for 18 years. And I know how the system doesn't work for you. And I'm hoping to earn your vote. I also have a doctor of jurisprudence, emergency management training, and practical experience that protect lives across Tennessee. And even if we don't win, we still get votes to put pressure on the establishment. The more votes, the more pressure. I believe in school freedom. Parents should have meaningful choices and freedom to select the best education for their children. I will meet with Tennesseans regularly in communities across the state. I'll also make an effort to reach people who are disabled, homebound, or unable to attend public meetings. Every vote counts, except for the road votes. And everybody that stands up and says they're not going to vote for me, I need 2 more people that'll say your vote's not going to count. I'm going to exit out. Because they try to intimidate you to say publicly, hey, I'm not voting for you. Well, say quietly to your neighbor, we are, and then go to the polls and do it. We're running to win and accomplish great things for people at every income level. Even without victory, every vote puts pressure on the political establishment to listen and act fairly, which they're not right now. They are absolutely not. I asked people, I would be honored to have your vote, to earn it with you. We'll build a fair, safer, and stronger Tennessee and get rid of public corruption. It's the crooked government that's causing problems. So I asked for your vote. So we'll try to be back on here again Friday And here's my main message, is to believe on the Lord Jesus Christ. There we go. Let's see if we can get it on the screen. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and thou shalt be saved. That's my main message to everyone. That's more important than politics. And that's why we need to fight the government. They're taking our religious freedom away. They're taking our freedom of speech away. And having the social movement, I'm trained in social movements, and a Master of Arts in sociology. So join both, subscribe to the channel. Help us make a difference in your freedom, because they're slowly taking it away. So here's a list of my accomplishments that they don't want you to see. I won't read over them. But numerous ones have been sworn to under oath in court. The second page of wonderful things I've done. I can call myself the wizard. And here's a few of them. Letters of commendation. Not what the government says, they lie. And even specialized training. And if you'll notice, the complaint against me was after I filed this complaint for Lowell Russell endangering my life. And then in November, they bring out this trash against me. That's a bunch of dirty lies. With a rigged judge in Tennessee that violated the law and gave his opinion past the deadline. And I still got exceptional ratings from my supervisor, who wasn't in on my demise, was he? This is my supervisor, gave me all 5 on my evaluation after the pursuit. So they can't even get their lies straight. Imagine that. Can't even get their lies straight. So thank you all so much for watching the show. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And help me get the message out. Watch the videos is the best thing you can do. The next best thing you can do is go vote. For me, I'm on the ballot. And then after that, call your friends, call all. Tell them, ask them to watch the show, subscribe, and go vote for me. And also, showing ads on here, shop the Women's Appeal. Okay. And also, have your friends watch the show, subscribe, and have your friends go vote November the 3rd. And support the movement, Voters of Truth and Race. I've got a degree in education in sociology and social movement, so I know what the hell I'm doing. Fighting evil. We'll see if y'all want to see it. The video we'll show you in Nashville where the news media lied on me. Let's see if we got any more comments. And in the chat, anybody wants to pay for it. But thank y'all for coming. God bless you all. Certainly appreciate it. And remember, I always try to say that God loves you, and I do too. Until next time.